Have you ever stood in your garden, admiring the tall green pepper plants with strong stems and plenty of leaves, only to notice that there are barely any peppers growing on them? Or perhaps the peppers are there, but they are small, few in number, and seem to be growing painfully slow. This is a common problem that frustrates many gardeners. You do everything right, or at least it seems that way, but the plants just do not reward you with the harvest you expected. You may water them regularly, plant them in good soil, and even fertilize them occasionally, yet still the results are far from impressive. So what is really going on? The truth is that peppers, while being a popular crop in gardens across the world, can be a bit demanding when it comes to producing fruit. They are part of the nightshade family, along with tomatoes and eggplants, and while they are not necessarily hard to grow, getting them to produce lots of large, healthy fruit requires some attention to detail. A healthy pepper plant is not always a productive one. You might be looking at a beautiful green plant that seems to be thriving, but if it is not getting the right nutrients or growing conditions at the right time, it will focus all its energy on leaves and stems instead of flowers and fruit. Peppers love warmth and sunlight. They do best in locations where they receive at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight every day. The soil needs to be loose, well-draining, and rich in organic matter. But even with ideal conditions, problems can still arise. One of the biggest mistakes gardeners make is fertilizing their peppers too early with high nitrogen fertilizers. This leads to rapid leaf growth in tall plants, but also suppresses flowering. Nitrogen is essential during the early stages of plant development, but once the plant matures, it needs more phosphorus and potassium to shift its focus to fruit production. Another problem is inconsistent watering. Peppers need regular watering, especially during the flowering and fruiting stages, but the soil should not stay soggy. Overwatering leads to root problems and reduces the oxygen available to the plant roots, which can stunt growth and reduce fruit set. On the other hand, letting the soil dry out completely between waterings can stress the plant and cause flowers or tiny fruits to drop. The key is to keep the soil consistently moist, not too dry and not too wet. Now, let's get to the part that really makes a difference. How can we boost the pepper harvest in a natural and effective way? Here are 3 reliable methods that combine natural ingredients, proper timing, and a little patience. These are simple techniques that do not require any expensive materials and can be done by anyone, even if you are just starting out with gardening. The first method is based on a homemade potassium-rich tea made from banana peels. Bananas are an excellent source of potassium and phosphorus, 2 nutrients that peppers need during flowering and fruit development. Take 1 or 2 banana peels, cut them into small pieces, and soak them in about a liter of water for 24 hours. This creates a mild but effective liquid fertilizer. Strain the water and use it to water your pepper plants at the base, preferably in the early morning or late afternoon. This natural tea will give the plant a gentle but targeted boost, encouraging more blossoms and healthier fruits. You can repeat this every 2 weeks throughout the fruiting season. The second method uses a calcium source that you probably already throw away without thinking. Eggshells are rich in calcium, which is vital for preventing blossom end rot, a common problem in peppers where the bottom of the fruit turns brown and soft. To use eggshells effectively, first rinse and dry them completely. Then crush them into a fine powder using a mortar and pestle or food processor. Sprinkle a small amount of this powder around the base of each plant. Over time, the calcium is released into the soil and taken up by the roots. If you want a quicker effect, mix the crushed eggshells with a bit of vinegar and let them react for a few hours. The resulting liquid can be watered into the soil for faster calcium availability. The third method is one that many traditional gardeners still swear by. It involves making a fermented nettle tea. Stinging nettles, while unpleasant to touch, are packed with nutrients that strengthen plant growth and improve resistance to pests and diseases. Collect fresh nettle leaves and fill about 1/3 of a large bucket or container. Top it off with water and cover it loosely. Stir the mixture once a day for about a week. The tea will ferment and develop a strong smell, which is completely normal. Once it is ready, dilute 1 cup of nettle tea into a liter of water and use it to water your peppers. This method strengthens the overall health of the plant and ensures that it has all the micronutrients it needs to thrive. Apply this tea every 2 to 3 weeks. All 3 of these methods work best when used together, each one supporting a different stage of the plant's growth. But there are other things you can do to maximize your pepper production. One of them is pruning. Removing the lower leaves and any suckers that appear between the main stem and branches allows for better airflow and directs more energy to the main stems and developing fruit. This can also reduce the risk of fungal infections and pests. You should also keep an eye on pollination. Peppers are self-pollinating, but they still benefit from insect activity or a gentle shake to help pollen move from one flower to another. If your plants are not producing fruit despite flowering, you might need to help pollination by gently tapping or shaking the branches once a day during blooming. Mulching is another simple but powerful step. Adding a layer of straw, dried grass clippings, or shredded leaves around the base of your pepper plants helps retain moisture, regulate soil temperature, and suppress weeds. This creates a more stable environment for the roots and reduces stress, which can improve both growth and yields. Harvesting is also important. Many people leave the first few peppers on the plant too long, waiting for them to turn red or yellow. But early harvesting can actually encourage the plant to produce more. Pick the first fruits as soon as they are mature, even if they are still green. This signals a plant to keep producing, rather than slowing down. The more you pick, the more the plant will give. Finally, be patient. Peppers take time to reach their full potential. Unlike tomatoes, which can produce quickly and in large numbers, peppers often grow slower and need consistent care over several months. But with the right attention, the reward is worth it. You will get firm, flavorful peppers that are far better than anything from a store. Gardening is not just about results, but also about the process. Learning how to listen to your plants, understanding their needs, and giving them the right support creates a rewarding experience. When you bite into a fresh pepper that you grew yourself, knowing how much care and thought went into it, the satisfaction is unmatched. Gardening is full of little secrets, and once you unlock them, everything becomes easier. Nature always gives back what you put in, often multiplied. So go ahead, try these methods, enjoy the process, and soon enough, you will be the one giving tips to others on how to grow the best peppers in town.